In this episode, I go to the National Championships in a boat I've never sailed. This is the Flying Dutchman, a 20-foot long, 130-kilogram beast that was formerly one of the fastest dinghies in the world. The class is going from strength to strength in Australia, with this Nationals one of the biggest for many years, with 14 boats expected to compete. Interestingly, the Flying Dutchman was actually designed in the Netherlands in 1951. These boats were in the Olympics from 1960 to 1992 and were kind of like the 49er of their day. I was told since I was a little kid that one day I was going to end up crewing on a Flying Dutchman. I like to think that over the years I've developed at least 2 of the skills required to do so, according to Wikipedia. So this was a couple of hours before the start and the first time I saw my friend Matt's boat that we were going to be racing in the championship. It was built by Moth I in southern Germany in 2001, so whilst it's not new, it has an amazing pedigree when you start digging into the history. The Flying Dutchman is highly tunable, and Matt gave me a detailed briefing of what all the ropes do.
Cano, bang, lowers, shrouds, forestay fine tune, poppers up and down, poppers in and out, pole up and down, travel obviously, centerboard up and down, which is end for end.
Yeah.
Tweakers connected. Then you got spinning cut and genoa, forestay horse tune.
Yeah.
Furler will be spinnaker halyard and preventer.
Yeah, okay. I was a bit worried this trapeze system might not be up to the load of the modern man, so I eliminated that upper cleat system and just added a Dyneema strop. So that's our light air genoa, which is a little bit shorter on the luff so we can get more forward rake. That's huge. The sheeting angle on the genoa is critical because it's so big relative to the main, so the skipper can adjust it up and down and in and out while sailing, which is super cool. This regatta was held at Metung Yacht Club on the Gippsland Lakes in eastern Victoria. The international sailing media had already written us off as no chance for a podium, instead preferring to focus on some of the international entries that had flown in especially for the regatta, as well as some of the local legends with amazing reputations. There were even rumours in the boat park of private planes landing at the local airstrip on the morning of the regatta. Given the form shown on the channel recently, I can see why a new pairing of 2 people that have only sailed together once for about 2 hours in 2017 wouldn't be considered a threat. We quickly jumped in the car and headed over to the Metung Yacht Club for briefing. There was some amazing history on the wall, including this trophy of Australia 2, some awesome paintings of boats going downwind in the nearby Bass Strait, as well as these awesome caricatures of all the previous Commodores on their boats. The Flying Dutchman fleet elected to actually launch off this little beach a lot closer to the racing area, so we didn't have to sail around that peninsula each day. It was then time to launch and figure out how to sail this thing on the way to the start line. Part of the reason the boat can be sailed in such a wide range of conditions is its precision-engineered system that allows the centerboard to go both backwards and forwards in the boat and rake up and down.
You're going to loosen it and then... Jump in.
Alright. Bang off that one. Nice. The spinnaker system is pretty cool. You just put the brace in the beak and then pull the launcher line and the pole goes up. You then just grab the sheet and sit down and off you go. Yep, off. Okay. Tweakers on. Okay. Trip.
That and the...
And this.
Yep, at the same time.
Wait. Yep. Jibing. Sorry, hang on. Oh, I see. Okay. You grow up hearing these stories that nothing goes to windward like a Flying Dutchman. It was finally my turn to jump out on the wire and see if it's as amazing as everyone's always said it is. So wet. And yes, I can confirm it actually is amazing. I really can't draw any direct comparison with anything else I've sailed. It just feels completely unique. This boat is actually called Freight Train, and I think the best way to describe it is it goes upwind like a freight train. And you can so easily just get mesmerised just watching the bow cut through the water. Also, if you like the content and haven't hit the subscribe button yet, please do. It makes such a difference as to how many people can find these videos. Once I fixed up the lengths of those strops I put on the trapeze, it was time for the first race. The course for the day, and every other race in the series, was actually just your standard kind of short Olympic triangle. Not a course you get to do that often these days, but it's basically a triangle and a windward return back to the finish. 40 seconds. Okay, you got NZL7. We've got 26, 20, 17, 15, 14, 13, 11, 10, 9, say when to unfurl, 7, So whilst we had a decent start with clear air, it became obvious pretty quick that we couldn't hold our line and we had a serious pace issue. Of course, when you've never sailed the boat before, you just assume that it always feels like it sucks and you don't know what's wrong. So we had to tack out to clear our air, and yeah, from here it was a bit of a struggle in the race. As we sailed out here, the boat actually started to feel alright, and we were going into a persistent knock, as you can see by the telltales on the genoa there. So I was pretty sure once we tacked after this New Zealand boat, we'd come back on something looking half decent, and we'd be right back in the race. Okay. And yes, at the moment, it seems like my tacking skills on the Flying Dutchman are almost as bad as they are on the Moth. So we haven't gained at all on this right-hand side of the track. As you can see by our body language, Matt's well in the boat, I'm crouched on the wire, and it generally just feels really average. Sheet forward. Once we got our spinnaker up, we were well back in the fleet, and being one of the larger combinations in the regatta, I was a bit worried about our potential to have any pace downwind. Whatever setup issue we had also seemed to be slowing us down along this reach as all the other boats caught up. So, being my first ever jibe in a race, it wasn't that great, and the boat behind us got up to windward. There was some serious talent on this boat, as the skipper won the 1991 Mirror Dinghy World Championships, and then the crew was the 2005 Australian Youth Laser Champion. So, serious pedigree on that boat, and you can see why they got past us. So we quickly tacked to clear our air and head up the left-hand side of the course. Matt then figured out what the problem was with our setup and why we were so slow and underpowered.
How's my help, Jim? How are you at the top?
Probably 6 inches down. Now it's like 3 inches. So the problem was the genoa halyard had come uncleated, meaning we had a heap of rake and a really bent mast. Once we pulled the mast forward, the mast straightened out and we got a lot more depth in our mainsail, and I was flat trapezing and off we went like a freight train in pursuit of the leading pack. We were sharing the race course with the Etchels for their Eastern Gippsland Championship, which is why occasionally you'll see one come across our track. So fixing the rig settings seemed to have stopped our descent through the fleet, and we'd held on to the former Mirror World Champion on this upwind leg. Three, two, one, go! Yeah, we're probably only going to be 50 metres to look. Yeah. And they're going. Yep, 3, 2, 1. We finished this race in 6th position, and I was thinking that the international sailing media were probably right with their assessment of where we were going to finish in the regatta. So here we go for the start of race 2. The breeze had freshened just slightly, maybe to kind of 9 to 11 knots, so we're hoping that was going to suit our heavy crew weight just a little bit more. $35. Easy. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Give that ship a track. After a similar start, it seemed like our new max power rig settings were doing the job and were able to hang on with the front runners, even if they were just a little bit higher than us off the line. Too hard in the jib? As we got to the top of the course, the breeze built just a smidge more, which was really nice, except for Matt, because now his face was getting really wet. We then found ourselves in first place at the top mark, so it was time to put the spinnaker up and head down the reach to the wing mark. The boat with the white spinnaker with the black stripe went a little bit wider down the reach and came in with a hotter angle. They pulled a lot of ground out of us, and I figured that guy must really know what he's doing. I later found out why this guy is so fast. Ian McCrossan has an amazing track record that I've hardly seen repeated in any other sailing class, let alone any other sport. World champion 3 times, World Championship runner-up 3 times, finished in the top 10 at the World Championships another 5 times, Australian national champion 9 times, Australian and New Zealand champion twice. Like, who can sit there on someone's hip for this long? Like, this went for minutes and minutes and minutes, and he just sat there, and we just couldn't shake him. Like, it was amazing. I've never seen anything like it. So, yeah, it was amazing just to be able to race against people with that kind of track record across so many years. Eventually, he did tack off to the left-hand side of the course to clear his air. We went back with him shortly after so that we didn't give him too much leverage out the left-hand side. He then came back at us on port tack, trying to get some leverage out the right-hand side. We let him go just a little bit because we thought that the left-hand side was okay, and then we tacked back again to try and shorten up the leg. He then came back at us on starboard tack, with us probably having made a small gain on the left-hand side of the course. Once I got back on the boat, we just had to get the spinnaker up and stay ahead for the run down to the finish. While we're running down to the finish, a massive thanks to everyone on Patreon that continues to support the channel. It's really, really appreciated to help keep these videos coming out most weeks. As you can see, the triple world champ went back out to the left-hand side of the course with a bit of a hotter angle. They definitely probably had a little bit more pace than us being so heavy. But we did manage to hang on and take the win in this race, which was so cool. Like, how good is sailing that someone like me can just kind of rock up to an event and race against a triple world champion? Like, that's like someone just going and playing tennis and getting to play against Roger Federer. Like, so cool. So at the end of the first day, it looked like the international sailing media was right, and we were going to finish off the podium. We're currently in 4th place, and looking forward to a bit of bigger breeze on the next 2 days of the regatta. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.